Having agreed upon a plan at their seaside council of war, they now stood up, brushed the sand off their kimonos, and moved into action. So the Yoshiokas are now hunting down Sasaki Kojuro. So this chapter focuses in on Akemi, and it presents Akemi in a way in which she is her innocence in the world compared to the Yoshiokas and what her mother has done. Her mother's profession as a lady of the night has brought her to this group of men, the Yoshiokas, which only value women for one particular thing. And she is trying to forget everything about her mother's life, the way she earns a living. So Akemi's been exposed to that and she doesn't like it. She's trying to forget. The chapter presents the futility of escapism, or escaping the past through forgetfulness, is what Akemi is looking for. Akemi, wide-eyed with curiosity, watched the Yoshioka men as they all ran off in different directions, the tips of their scabbard in the air. When the last of them passed her, she called out to him, "Where are you all going?" "Oh, it's you," he said. "Why don't you come search with me? Everybody's been assigned a territory to cover." "What are you looking for?" "A young samurai with a long forelock. He's carrying a monkey." "What did he do?" "Something that will disgrace the young master's name unless we act fast." He told her what had happened, but failed to raise even a spark of interest. "You people are always looking for a fight," she said disapprovingly. "It's not that we like to fight, but if we let him get away with this, it'll bring shame on the school, the greatest center of martial arts in the country." "Oh, what if it does? Are you crazy? You men spend all your time running after the silliest things." "Huh?" He squinted at her suspiciously. "And what have you been doing out here all this time?" "Me?" She dropped her eyes to the beautiful sand around her feet and said, "I'm looking for seashells." "Why look for them? There are millions of them all over the place. It just goes to show you women waste their time in crazier ways than men. I'm looking for a particular type of shell. It's called the seashell of forgetfulness." "Oh? And is there really such a shell?" "Yes. But they say you can only find it here on the shore of Sumiyoshi." "Well, I'll bet there's no such thing." "There is too. If you don't believe it, come with me. I'll show you." She pulled the reluctant youth over to a row of pines and pointed to a stone on which an ancient poem was carved. "Had I but the time, I'd find it on the Sumiyoshi shore. They say it comes there, the shell that brings oblivion to love." Proudly, Akemi said, "See? What more proof do you need?" That's only a myth, one of those useless lies they tell in poetry. But in Sumiyoshi, they also have flowers that make you forget, and water too." "Well, suppose it does exist. What magic will it work for you?" "It's simple. If you put one in your obi or your sleeve, you can forget everything." The samurai laughed. "You mean you want to be more absent-minded than you already are?" "Yes. I'd like to forget everything. Some things I can't forget, so I'm unhappy in the daytime, and I lie awake at night. That's why I'm looking for it. Why don't you stay and help me look?" "This is no time for child's play," the samurai said scornfully, then suddenly remembering his duty, flew off at full speed. When she was sad, Akemi often thought her problems would be solved if she could only forget the past and enjoy the present. Right now she was hugging herself and wavering between holding on to the few memories she cherished and wanting to cast them out to the sea. If there really were such a thing as a seashell of forgetfulness, she decided she wouldn't carry it herself, but instead sneak it into Sujuro's sleeve. She sighed, imagining how lovely life would be if he would just forget all about her. Okay, so this reflects the Yoshiokas as well. The forgetfulness of their founder. They have forgotten, right? They have forgotten everything. They're out there. As the chapter begins, they're scattered, right? They're scattered. They're trying to find Sasaki Kojuro, and they're scattered. Instead of dealing with Tojin and asking him what happened on that boat, they're trying to find this elusive samurai, similar to what Akemi's trying to find, this elusive seashell of forgetfulness, right? So while Musashi picks the hard path and is not accepting of these illusions, these grudges like Osugi is holding on to, Musashi and Sasaki Kojuro, they They embrace the hardship. These guys, the Yoshiokas, and unfortunately Akemi, although she's pretty innocent throughout the story, they are hoping on things that are somewhat mythical. Forgetfulness, hoping that they can forget the past. Her wish to forget the past without having the courage to do the right things to get out of her current path. The contrast of hoping versus taking on the hard path, and then the forgetfulness, the futility or the danger of escapism, of waiting for something to happen to you or to find a hope, to find something, kind of like hitting the lottery to get you out of your troubles, passive solutions to get rid of your pain, your emotional pain, your physical pain. And then Akemi's on the wrong path because of her mother, but she does have ways of getting herself out of it, right? This speaks to kids that have like an alcoholic father, right? You're on the path that they place you on, but then you have the choice to decide your own path after a certain time has passed. Pry yourself away from a certain path that you've known, but it's there. Leave your current path. Keep saying path, but leave your current state and obtain a greater state via confronting, taking on, getting off the wrong path. This is a tough chapter, and it's hard to control your destiny through wishes and avoidance, right? Events unfold through a mix of personal choices, timing, and circumstances, but Akemi's drifting into that danger of futility, of just hoping, forgetfulness. Peace, everybody, and be well.